Windows 11 is getting some pretty cool features, according to Microsoft. These upcoming planned gaming improvements also include release of the Xbox HDR Game Calibration app. The software company intends to bring its Xbox HDR Game Calibration program to Windows 11, which would allow older games to operate with less input latency, Auto-HDR, and variable refresh rate (VRR) if they're windowed rather than full screen. What's all this about? Microsoft's major upcoming feature list for Windows 11 is every gamer and geek's dream and includes a few important optimizations and advancements behind the scenes for PC games. The software company intends to port its Xbox HDR Game Calibration software to Windows 11, which would allow older games to operate with less input delay, Auto-HDR, and variable refresh rate (VRR) if they're windowed rather than full screen. The new Windows HDR Calibration application, similar to the Xbox HDR Calibration app, will allow PC players to increase visual accuracy and consistency of an HDR display. It will have 3 test patterns to rapidly calibrate HDR, and Windows 11 testers will be able to use the software soon before it is released to the entire public. Windows 11, shipped together with the Auto-HDR function from the Xbox Series XS consoles, and Microsoft is now working on windowed game optimizations to enable them to utilize Auto-HDR and VRR. According to Microsoft, the changes can substantially reduce latency for older games running in windowed mode. The graphics section gets some tweaks too. In the graphics section of the Windows 11 settings interface, a new Optimizations for Windowed Games feature will emerge, which will apply to older DirectX 10 and DirectX 11 games. Previously, you had to run games in full screen to enjoy all of the latency and performance benefits, but Microsoft has made some modifications to DirectX in both Windows 10 and Windows 11 to improve games that are run in the windowed mode. The latest optimization is for windowed and borderless windowed games. In case you're running in full screen, an optimization option does already exist. However, the new setting creates a more consistent experience so that the mode you're in wouldn't matter at all. Hannah Fisher, a program manager at Microsoft's Graphics and DirectX team, explained, "You don't need to worry about DirectX 12 games as they already take advantage of the new presentation mode. These new improvements effectively change the way a game appears on a screen to a more current style. The modern flip model is what it's called, and while many games already adopt it, hundreds more don't. With the impending Witch Queen update next week, Bungie is just converting Destiny 2 to this current flip model, letting players have the same performance in the windowed mode and activate HDR. While features like these appear to be promising for older games, glitches and difficulties are possible. This week, Microsoft is allowing PC gamers to opt into these enhancements in Windows 11 preview versions, and you'll be able to exclude certain games or applications if you see any concerns. So when do we get our hands on this feature? Microsoft has only recently begun testing these new gaming features in Windows 11, so it might be months before they're accessible to everyone. The software company said earlier this week that instead of a huge yearly update with a lot of changes, it will instead release new Windows 11 features on a more frequent basis. It's fantastic to see older PC games taking advantage of these new capabilities, especially when playing in windowed mode. At the very least, whether you're playing older or new games, you'll have a more satisfying experience. However, problems may develop, and Microsoft is allowing you to opt into these enhancements. You may simply omit a game that isn't cooperating with the new optimizations. These optimization enhancements are presently only available to Windows Insider Program members and are not expected to be released to the general public for some time. Even still, it'll be fascinating to see these capabilities in action whenever Windows 11 is rolled out to all users. Now, let's talk about how Call of Duty now lets you destroy cheaters with your own automatic God mode. Cheaters can typically create a new account, so banning them doesn't always work. As a result, video games like Call of Duty are increasingly searching for methods to make exploiting their games less entertaining, and the latest concept provides honest gamers a cheat of their own. Call of Duty's new Damage Shield, the new Ricochet anti-cheat software in Warzone, makes a cheater's bullets bounce off of you, allowing you to close up on them while they flail around hysterically and then destroy them yourself. Activision states in a blog post introducing the feature that it only activates when the server detects a cheater is interfering with the game in real time, and that the game won't randomly deploy a damage shield, in case you're curious. Activision further states that they'll never interfere with legal gunfights in the community, so if you observe this happening while you aren't cheating, you might have some questions. Cheaters should also be aware that the corporation will begin banning them across the entire Call of Duty gaming brand, not just in individual games, and that the bans will apply to future Call of Duty titles as well. It says that repeated violations of the security policy, like cheating, will lead to a forever ban of all accounts. Also, hiding, disguising, or obfuscating your identity or that of your hardware devices can also get you a permanent ban. Activision has responded with a slew of new anti-cheating programs, including their own kernel-level drivers for PC. But they're also battling cheats with legal action, suing or threatening to litigate their creators into bankruptcy. Vampire Survivors, the new thing. Vampire Survivors is a Steam early access roguelike in which each round begins simply with you having just one weapon and a few monsters to fight. Because the weapon discharges automatically, all you have to do is move your character to dodge enemies and collect experience gems. However, as you go through the game, gain more weapons, and fight more creatures, your screen soon fills up with a feast of magical weapons and equipment and terrifying enemies that cover practically every inch of the screen. The information bombardment of colors and sounds nearly seems like you're at an arcade or a casino, which is exactly what Vampire Survivors creator Luca Galante was striving for. Galante had worked in the gambling sector as a software engineer, and his background influenced his approach to creating a more conventional game. Galante also analyzed other games he likes for inspiration, the foremost being Magic Survival, an Android-based game that is incredibly similar. In fact, the Vampire Survivors prototype was built off of Magic Survival. Elements that are specific to Vampire Survivors, such as its awesome gameplay, strong impact, and the ease and enjoyment of actually playing this game. He further enumerated the games he likes to play, which included a lot of stuff like Devil May Cry and Bayonetta that he considers to lean into the more intricate and complex side of playing. Galante explained that they demand too much effort from the players to get some strong feedback, so instead he decided to take the more relaxing route. The game was made a bit easier for the players so that he can receive that much-needed important feedback. Smart thinking. Halo Infinite midweek update includes multiplayer and campaign improvements. Next week, Halo Infinite will receive a mid-season update that will feature adjustments and upgrades to both multiplayer and the campaign. The update is set to be released on Thursday, February 24th, and will start with networking improvements to help with rubber banding difficulties. The update for next week will include some awesome new additions, such as telemetry. This actually concentrates on data collection around shooting incidents around walls or corners. But that's not all. Targeted improvements will also be a part of the package. It's important to reduce rubber banding near vehicles and their debris, so that issue will finally be resolved and lead to a smoother experience. This will definitely improve player experience in the online sphere. The 343 blog post also specified that it isn't the end of the road in terms of improvements. A problem with first-person animations will be addressed in the February 24th release. If you've ever noticed certain frame rate difficulties while clambering or reloading or doing any other first-person activity, they should be fixed next week, 343 added. Fans can also anticipate enhancements to Halo Infinite's anti-cheat mechanisms, but 343 didn't go into any detail other than to say that the update will include many improvements. The February 24th patch for Halo Infinite's campaign will fix achievement issues as well as issues with continuing the game via the Xbox's Quick Resume function. As the release of the Halo Infinite mid-season update approaches, the complete patch notes will be released next week. When the patch notes are released, we'll post them on GameSpot. The first season of Halo Infinite is set to air from May 2022 to May 2023. After Season 1, Campaign Co-op and Forge, the latter of which just had a major leak, are slated to be released. That's a wrap for this video. Which update are you looking forward to the most? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.